Coach, when you get two specific plays by younger guys, Charlie blocking that shot, Brando making that play on Panarin and moving up the ice in that game-winning goal, how does that really help you guys?
Well, it's huge. I mean, we need everybody to contribute. Those guys play a lot of minutes. Pasternak's a young guy. We talked about that the other day. Came through for us. Connor Clifton, young guy, makes a hell of a play to Marshy. So these young guys were able to rise up to the moment. Big contributors to the win. And you have to if you're going to win at this time of the year because they're young guys that have played in our lineup. Jake did it last year for us. And I think, like I said, we're not going to advance if those young guys freeze. Now, Brandon had a moment there in the second period that, he had to sort of reset himself, and good for him. We helped him through that, but the individual has to be able to find his game, and he did. So, like I said, that's critical for us that those guys do their part. And they did a little bit more tonight than that.
Ty on the left.
This postseason, you've talked a lot about the Bergeron line and them getting going. 5-on-5 possession tonight. They had that great shift the third period. Is this the best they've looked, in your opinion, as a line?
Yeah, I think tonight was an excellent game for them. They got going game 4 up in Columbus. When you're offensive guys and you're players like those guys that put a lot of pressure on themselves to lead, both production-wise, effort-wise, details. If it doesn't go your way, there's a level of frustration. They're humans. So now they break through the other night, and tonight now they're back to feeling good about themselves. And listen, you've seen them, Ty, around here. They're dominant when they're on, and they're very good even when they're not on. So if they start feeling it, it's a tall task for the other team. Now they're not going to win every battle because the opposition has good players as well that go through the same. But those guys are elite players in the league, and yes, to answer your question, they were very, one of their, if not their best game, certainly close, and it came at a good time, and credit to them, too, to understand the situation we're in, and we're in the other night, and they started the process of us digging out of a deficit.
On the right.
Over here on the wall, sort of along those lines, between the lengthy goal review tonight where maybe nothing was visually evident in the puck off the net the other night, moments that could have been turned into excuses your team has responded well to. What have you seen on the bench and, more importantly, on the ice that's prevented?
Well, we had a Matthews call, too, in Toronto. Didn't go our way, Game 5, so we had to dig out of that. At the end of the day, I think our guys are very resilient. On the bench, of course, you're upset with the call, but at the end of the day, most of the time, it's on those long ones, it's like, hey, whatever happens here, we got to be ready to go out of this face-off, whether it's at center ice or our end. And most of the time we are. I thought we bounced back well from that call. Scored the next goal, seemed to have it under control. Clearly we didn't. They made a couple of high-end plays, but that's our group. We're resilient. We've battled through a lot this year. We came back from being an elimination game on the road against a good team. We've battled through injuries all year to keep our position in the standings. So our guys are pretty good at that. Credit to the veteran guys in the room. And even the younger guys we talked about, their contribution. They're learning to play through this as well for young guys to keep their composure.
On the left. Oh, I thought those are okay, and the front right's fine. Go ahead.
Me?
Yep.
You talk about level of frustration. So when Pastrnak scores a goal like that, can that sort of turn his whole thing around? Does that happen on one goal for one guy?
Well, I think the goal, Game 4 or tonight?
Tonight.
I think Game 4, that goal was big for him. I think and the last one where he shot it. So clearly shooting the puck well. He had a few burps with it along the way. So we talked a bit about our power play today, maybe not getting into certain spots or trying to stay static and where he's comfortable. But obviously the goal off the rush helps him. I'm glad he didn't overthink it, shot it, went to net in the other one. So yes, I believe it helped him. I think it started the other night. Now I also believe David was okay. Obviously, like everyone else, he's putting pressure on himself, but he's a good kid. He's a pretty even-keeled kid if you get to know him at all. So he's always going to fight through it. He's not going to disappear. Took a huge hit the other night, bounced back and scored right after that. So he's a competitive guy. But like a lot of scorers, they need something good to happen for them generally to start the ball rolling. It happened the other night, continued tonight.
Fluto on the left.
Bruce, Columbus had some pretty good chances in the second period. How do you think it affected your team, the way Tuukka was able to hang in and make the saves that he needed to make?
Yeah, we've had some second period issues managing the puck, and then you don't get the change in the back end. But Tuukka, listen, you don't advance without excellent goaltending, timely saves. We got it right to the last 15 seconds out of him. So second period, yes, he kept us above water. I think it happened the other night in Columbus as well. He was good in that period when we weren't as good. In the third period, we started checking well again, and we're able to close the deal the way we've typically done it this year. So that is an area of concern with our club, second periods, how to manage the puck better, put it in good spots so we can get fresh legs out there, not lose 2 or 3 on the forecheck, 2 on the forecheck, 1 to a line change, all of a sudden the odd man rushes start happening. That's something we'll address again, but easier said than done to fix.
Take one more, if there's one more. Porter on the left.
With them dressing 11 forwards, they went really heavy on Panarin. It seemed like he was out there a ton. What was you already asked that question? Oh, okay. So he's laughing. Sorry. What was the plan to deal with that, and how hard is it to deal with a guy like that when he's out there, quite a bit more than
Well,
usual?
if he gets double shifted, I don't think we hard matched tonight at all. We were confident with our 4 lines. Plan seemed to work till about 6 minutes to go in the game, whatever. Well, it's just up to the right Deeks. He plays his offside to make sure they account for him. He hides very well. That seam pass, we were able to take it away for the most part. The tying goal hit Brandon's foot, actually, and he was responsible for that lane. He was in it. So we did a good job there. Just our forward didn't read off Brandon and close the play out to the point, unfortunately. So, listen, he's a high-end player. He's going to get his chances. If we can minimize the damage, we try to do that starting on the power play or our penalty kill. Didn't work out that way in Game 2 for us. We learned our lesson, so we've been, I think, much better at limiting his touches or how much time and space he's going to have. So, but that's the way it is every series. We dealt with Marner, Matthews. They're dealing with Pastrnak, Marshy. It's just part of the game. And then when it all breaks down, you hope but you rely on your goaltender to make a good save, and he was able to do that a lot.